fighters are ready. The fighters are in the ring. And they are ready. So for representing so long, 90,000 fans here. And the millions watching around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get it up to
Paint the sky your favorite color.
What up, fight fans? It's the mighty mean Joe Frazier. You are now tuned in to Fist Physics. Today's topic is Sir Jack Kovalev, Andre Ward, the first fight. And I actually had to do this video about the first fight. I don't even remember off the top of my head if I did a video, like a post-fight video, after these two fighters met last year. But I was actually hit up by a couple of people online who were in agreement that Andre Ward ran during his fight with Sir Jack Kovalev. I don't know what fight these people were watching. Now, there were some things that I noticed, especially within the first 4 to 5 rounds, and one of the major points was, this is the highest weight Andre Ward can go. He can't go to cruiserweight, he can't go to heavyweight, light heavyweight. It seems to be a really forced weight for him. He doesn't seem to be as quick. He didn't take that punch well. The punch that actually knocked him down. And even that knockdown was initiated by Andre Ward. Okay? Andre Ward saw a window of opportunity open. He tried to capitalize on said window and was countered, which was what Kovalev should have done. Kovalev did everything he was supposed to do, and that was the one flaw in Andre's game plan that night. And I think in his mind, he was under the impression that he was quick enough to make the move that he was attempting to make. But see, it's one thing to say a guy, lost or is controversial. It's another thing to say that a fighter was running all night. One, when a lot of these trainers and a lot of the hardcore fans say that a guy was running, that is perfectly legal to use your footwork to escape an opponent's offense. Also to reset. A lot of times what happens is the fighter engages his offense, bang, 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 bang. He slides out, he does like a half a circle, and then this forces his opponent to reset. Like if the opponent was going to counter the minute that you stopped with your combination, or even if you were just popping shots, if you start to move, now he can't get off. Now he has to follow you again, and then you're going to stop at a position where you're comfortable to engage the opponent again, and he's going to reset and look to counter, and you can drag that on for an entire 12 rounds. Mayweather has done it many, many times. Rigondeaux has done this many, many times. But what happens is, using that formula, the opponent really can't get off any punches, and so the fans, the commentary people, they say, oh, it was a boring fight. Oh, this guy ran all night. The point of boxing is not to get hit. It is to hit and not get hit. But now back to Andre Ward, Sir Jack Kovalev 1. I felt like Sir Andre Ward could have made it in a completely boring, lackluster fight by using that sort of strategy. But instead, Andre Ward did not. What I saw that night was, I saw that Andre Ward decided to come straight forward, to jump in the pocket and test Kovalev's inside game. And so what we discovered during the fight was Sergey had no inside game. When a guy jumps in the pocket and pops shots and ties him up, he didn't know what to do. He didn't know what the response should be. When he goes back to the corner's not supplying him with the right information that he needs to adjust. And so he did not make the adjustment, and so he lost. After the fifth round, I had Kovalev losing the next 7. And by the time we get to the championship rounds, that 8 through 12, Kovalev is just looking completely spent. He's looking like he's completely tired. Like he thought this was going to be a 6-round fight. He was going to knock Andre out. It was going to be the end of the day. Go home. It didn't turn out like that. Now, I had to explain that because I had a couple of people who were saying that Andre Ward was running. Running means that you moved away from the opponent, and instead Andre Ward jumped in the pocket, closing the distance between him and his opponent. And so this cannot be justifiably called running. Okay, if you want to say that Floyd Mayweather runs, fine. I'll take that. Andre Ward, Sergey Kovalev, no running. Nobody was running. Nobody was running at all. Now fast forward to the rematch, which I actually believe is June 17th. There's a whole bunch of fights going down in June, but this is probably the most notable. It's probably going to get the most views out of all the other fights that are going down. So, one, I would like to say, if Kovalev does not make the adjustment in this fight, you'll see Andre Ward, the same way that Andre Ward fought the last 7 rounds of the first fight, you'll see Andre Ward fight like that for the full 12 rounds of the next fight. Why? Because his opponent cannot make the adjustment. So I really do hope that Kovalev and his trainer, I forget the guy's first name, I believe his last name is Jackson, I hope that they were working on some inside game. You have to be a complete fighter. See, that's who rises to the top of boxing. It's complete fighters. A guy that can fight going forward. He can fight going back. And you'll hear like the diehard fans and the trainers and stuff, they call that fighting on your lead foot, fighting on your front foot where all your weight is loaded up on that front foot. Or you can fight with all your weight on your back foot, or you can go from left, or you can go to the right, or you can circle out, which some people consider running. But that's a complete fighter. See, only a complete fighter has so many dimensions. In Sergey Kovalev, all I saw was a puncher who can come forward. And it seems like nobody really notices that. Kovalev is not Lomachenko. Lomachenko was a complete fighter. He can do it all. Kovalev, not so much. So I just wanted to put that out there. And the last thing I'm going to say here is I really do hope that Team Ward and Team Kovalev, unless Kovalev wins the rematch and they want to do it for a trilogy, they want to do it for a third time, which I think that there's a very slim chance that that's going to happen. But somebody has to give Adonis Stevenson a shot. They're trying to box this guy out. And I say that Stevenson gives problems to Andre Ward, and he gives problems to Kovalev just because of his arm length and his power and the fact that he's a southpaw, a for real southpaw. And Adonis Stevenson is actually the last protege of the great trainer Emmanuel Stewart, which means he knows how to fight tall. The only way that Andre Ward wins that fight is to go inside. If Kovalev fights Adonis Stevenson, I think Kovalev gets knocked out because he has no inside game. He'll try to keep it at mid-range or long distance, and fighting a game like that, when that straight left comes down the pipe, boom, lights out for Kovalev. So I'm hoping that Stevenson's actually able to get back in the mix. He also is fighting in June. It's a rematch against Fonfara. I was kind of not too happy about that, but Fonfara did earn his way back up to challenge for the belt again by having a TKO over Chad Dawson, former champion, and a guy who also lost to Andre Ward. He also stopped Chavez Jr. on the stool. So he earned the right to challenge Stevenson for the belt again. But I don't think he wins. Fonfara got knocked out last time by Stevenson. I think he gets knocked out again. But Andre Ward, Kovalev, the winner of that needs to fight Adonis Stevenson. And I kind of get the strong feeling that Andre Ward might actually head back down to 168 after this fight. He might actually vacate and head back down to 168. So we'll see. I mean, only time can tell. Until the next one, folks, it's the Mighty Mean Joe Frazier. One.